Yes, you can.
Hey friends, we have Nico Johnson back on the show for a special report. Nico, question one is solar is booming and changing lives. How is this disruptive?
Well, solar is disruptive because it disrupts the way of business for the modern utility grid, and it disrupts the business model for those who rely on a rather antiquated process for setting rates and for billing customers, and it puts the power of generation into the hands of the users. So millions of users now in California alone, and now globally, hundreds of millions of users are evaluating and deploying solar as a resilience strategy for their home, for their business, for their community. And it is disruptive for their reliance on these antiquated business models that we often call utilities. Does that mean all utilities are bad? No, it doesn't. But so many utilities are still clinging to, I'll call it the old way of doing business. And it's a challenge. There are places where it's progressive. There are places where it's regressive. But by and large, solar is freeing folks at the end of the line, the users of the electricity, the commodity that we call electrons, to decide who's going to generate it, when are they going to use it, and how are they going to get compensated for it.
Absolutely, and there are some great utilities, and I see examples from Z-Prime and SEPA of leadership in the utility industry to really empower the end consumer, and so it's really inspiring. But right now, question two, what threat is the solar revolution facing right now?
Yeah, there is a rate case right now before FERC. So for those unfamiliar, the Federal Energy Regulatory Committee that has regulation authority over how each independent system operator and how each, well, maybe not the ISOs, but how all the utilities in the United States manage their rate cases, how they manage their distribution grids, et cetera. FERC has a petition before them, essentially challenging what we in the industry call net energy metering. There's this, call it nefarious organization called NERA, the New England Ratepayers Association, which on the surface sounds like they might be advocating for the ratepayers, but it's anything but. It's actually backed by, well, we're not entirely sure who it's backed by, but I give a huge credit to Catherine Morehouse at Industry Dive and the folks at Solar United Neighbors, Glenn Brand in particular and his team. We spent some time talking about what this group NERA is trying to do, and essentially they're undermining 20 plus years of established and documented transaction authority about how you as a consumer can be compensated in a fair way at what we consider to be a fair rate, rather than a fabricated rate by the utility to lower their cost and their injury to do so. So net energy metering is under attack, and Catherine has used a number of different articles that she's written on Industry Dive to explain this. So I won't go into deep detail. We can certainly link to those. One of the things that I really appreciate about the work that Solar United Neighbors is doing is they've put together this website called savesolar.org. We did a deep dive on this with Catherine and Glenn that folks can go listen to at SunCast. I don't remember the exact number. I'll look it up for you in a moment, where we go into all the details in the back end. But what you should know is last week, the petition sort of comment session closed. The FERC is now it's under consideration by FERC. We can reach out to FERC and let them hear our voice on, as an industry, what we want to be done. You can go and join the calls as they're scheduled with FERC. Media are the only entities that can actually pose questions, but pose questions to folks like Catherine and to others in the media who will be joining those calls so that we can have our voices heard. And then I would also, beyond that, encourage folks to reach out to your legislators, because at the end of the day, legislators have the authority to give feedback to the FERC. Obviously, they're separate regulatory or ruling bodies, but they all operate under the same general sort of jurisdiction, that they exist for the purpose of lawmaking and rulemaking, and we have representatives in Congress and in DC who through whose relationships we can have an influence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's important for people to get engaged and to be aware of what's going on. So your leadership and others that you referenced really is important for us to be able to not be undermined. And on question number 3, what can we do about it? What do you recommend?
Yeah, so I would encourage folks to go to safesolar.org, sign the I think it's a petition that safesolar.org has. We'll certainly give folks the link directly to how to join the FERC meetings, and follow folks that are active in the conversation. In particular, notably Ari Pesco on Twitter. We link to those in the show notes as well. They're active in keeping people updated and engaged. The thing is, like, information is power, knowledge is power. So the more we help folks realize that literally net energy metering is under attack before the FERC right now, which most people probably are unaware of, if they're day-to-day grinding, trying to get their business going, we got to get this message out. So I would really encourage folks to go to safesolar.org. And again, hat tip to the Solar United Neighbors and the team of folks. I think Vote Solar was instrumental in helping stand that website up. So this is an active campaign that we have in the industry right now to put an affront to this organization called NERA, demand that we are able to get information around who's behind NERA, that they can't hide behind this veil, so that we understand who's trying to bring this petition to FERC. Those are simple ways that you can do it, and you can learn a whole lot more at safesolar.org.
Awesome. Well, I wouldn't have found out about this if it weren't for your awesome SunCast podcast. You're the Joe Rogan of solar, and I've learned a lot personally from you. So I encourage people to follow you and tune into your podcast, because like me, there's a lot to learn, and you're certainly interviewing and working with a lot of the thought leaders. So you're sort of a leader of leaders in a way. So I encourage our audience and others to follow Nico and the Joe Rogan of solar. And I appreciate your time once again. And that is it, Nico. So again, I'm sure your wife is patiently waiting for you to help her out. You guys are sheltering in place, so I will let you go. But that is it. Again, thanks for coming on the show, Nico.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it.
Folks.
Go ahead.
I would encourage folks you had asked earlier, I would encourage folks, the episode that you referred to is episode 265. You, as we're all really present on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can find Les's comment on that episode if you want to listen to that or learn more. But I also just wanted to edify you guys once again. I did it in our last call, and I want to do it again. You guys are doing God's work, in my view. Like, surfacing this news and presenting it to the audience in a real-time way is super meaningful. So thank you as well. And that is it. You are what you listen to, Les.
Awesome. So thank you so much again. We're in this together. We're a team. The Solar Revolution is live and well. Thank you for joining us. That is it for the special report. Visit us at facebook.com/CIG Solar. Find us on LinkedIn. Follow us on YouTube. And of course, make sure you follow Nico if you don't already. And that is it for the special report. We will see you next time.